To the reading for Sunday, the 7th of June, 2026. First quote is actually from Winston Churchill, who said, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." Winston Churchill. How about that? And this is Reverend Soni, who says, "Love calls us to authentic expression." First quote is from Jean-Paul Sartre, who says, "If you seek authenticity for authenticity's sake, you are no longer authentic." That kind of makes sense. And Ernest Holmes, really a short quote today. It says, "Form is necessary for self-expression." Form is necessary for self-expression. And that's on Science of Mind, page 374. So he's saying that spirit needs form in order to express itself. And we are that expression. Love calls us to express our authentic selves. All too often, fear, comparison, or self-doubt holds us back from speaking and creating what matters most. But love dissolves self-judgment and opens the channel for genuine expression. When we let love be the source of our voice and actions, life becomes a vessel for divine communication, which is going back to the Holmes quote here of form is necessary for self-expression. Reverend Soni says, "Today, listen inwardly to what wants to be spoken or created in your life. Perhaps it is a word of encouragement for someone, a creative project growing quietly in your soul, or a simple act of sharing with another that brings you joy." In other words, take some quiet time and listen to what your inner self is trying to tell you. Love invites rather than pushing or forcing. When we allow our voice to arise from love, our words resonate with truth and it connects hearts. This expression nurtures not only our own fulfillment, but the fulfillment of those who receive it. It reminds us that our unique perspective matters, that our gifts are not random but purposeful, given to us to bless the world in our own rhythm. Let love inspire your expression today. Let your words be clear, warm, and true. By sharing a kind word, finishing a creative piece, or offering help, you reflect the divine spark within. Let each act of expression be an offering, a sacred thread woven into the tapestry of life. I was kind of thinking when she said here, or finishing a creative piece, my wife and I have started watching again Antiques Roadshow. There's the original UK version, there's also the US version. And as probably a lot of you know, people bring what they believe to be antiques and they get the experts to value them. And obviously they can only select a certain amount, because if you look at the whole scene going on there are thousands of people who come to these daily events and want to have their pieces valued. But obviously they can only show a certain number on TV, right? But what they're actually showing is either someone's idea of what they liked that was really creative. That's the person bringing the thing, who bought it or acquired it, was given it, and the person who actually created it. So that's what this reminded me of, that this is creative expression being shown. And these shows go back years and years and years, and they're showing some old ones as well as newer ones. So some of the stuff is actually from like 20, 25 years ago, but it's still interesting. You know, the expressions on the people's faces and how they light up when they're told either this is really worth a lot of money, or it's unique. It may not be worth a lot of money, but it's unique and it really has got a lot to express. And yeah, it's wonderful that you've got it. And even pieces that are valuable, some people say, well, I am not going to sell this thing. I love it. I bought it because I love it. And they're valuing somebody else's expression. So I think that's pretty cool. So kind of that partly is what this reminded me of. It also reminded me of when I was a teenager going around helping people who were less fortunate, you know, from a society that we had at our church. That would actually sometimes give people money for food, or money, well, not food really, no, but money sometimes for extra heating costs and so on and so forth. But mostly what the people wanted, most of them, they were older, some of them were shut-ins, not all of them, but they just wanted somebody to listen to them. They don't want somebody to talk to them. They wanted somebody to listen to them. And a listening ear was all that they asked for. And we got it. And as a teenager, it was sometimes kind of hard to do that, but encouraged by the adults, you know, we did it. I express my truth with love. My authentic voice flows freely and inspires life. I express my truth with love. My authentic voice flows freely and inspires life. And my friends, that is my offering for you today. My prayer is my knowingness that you are having a wonderful day today, whenever that day turns out to be. And I release this into that divine law that always says yes, and so it is. And great reminder, Reverend Lisa, 9:15 tomorrow morning. Me, hopefully 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. And until next time, my good friends, namaste.